Every one of us in this room, we've got dreams, things with all our heart we'd really like to do. But I promise you, the only way to get there is to make today count. Start and be faithful in the small things.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am with Dr. Jay Strack, founder of Student Leadership University, founder of many things, author of many books, a great leader and friend. And we are beginning a series of pivotal and crucial conversations. And so I want to kick this over to Dr. Jay to tell us, Dr. Jay, what are we talking about the next several days? Why are we talking about it? And who is this for? So take it away.
Well, first of all, we're all trapped like a rat right now. We're all at home or in our cubicle or in our room or maybe our tree house, whatever the case may be. We're doing this because we're captive audiences, and it gives me an opportunity to do something I love to do, and that is to communicate the good news, try to be a motivator. You know, the four greatest needs of every student, middle school, high school, and college, four greatest needs. Everyone needs, first of all, a model, somebody that's going to be living life before them. And oftentimes, thank God, there's that parent, there's that coach, there's that youth pastor, that educator, that teacher, someone that is really modeling for you that it's possible to live a different way. You know, change is a bully. And we got a lot of bullies around. We got a virus that's a bully. A lot of things want to bully us and intimidate us. So we constantly, all the rest of our lives, need to know, we always need to have a couple models, role models they're called, but someone to just model, how do I handle life? How do I handle defeat? How do I handle discouragement? How do I show love? How do I be tough? You know, us guys, we worry about all the macho stuff. But then also though, but how to be tender, you know, how to be our own distinctive individual, but yet at the same time, we're hopefully a devoted, passionate follower of Jesus. So we all got a full-time assignment on us. Our classrooms are changing. So the reason for this is everybody needs a model. And I want to just remind you, there are some great models out there for you to follow and to look at. Number two, everyone needs a mentor. Someone that will say to them, invest in them, and maybe even challenge them to think in new ways. Everyone also needs a monitor, someone to just keep up with you. Hey man, how are you coming on your goals? How are you coming on your to-do list? How are you coming on your prayer list? How are you coming in your personal development plan that hopefully you have? So everybody needs a model. Everyone needs a mentor. Everyone needs a monitor, somebody just kind of check on you, but also everybody needs a motivator. I mean, the water boy taught us, you can do it. You know, you need somebody that will constantly be trying to motivate you. We can do this. We can get through this. So I thought it might be great if we could get together. I've been grateful. We've heard from so many university students. We've got university students that are furloughed at home, as well as middle school and high school students. We have youth groups that have asked for a resource and a tool. So hopefully we can just communicate in a way that's very effective and give you a chance to ask some questions, but also, most of all, just remind, especially this first initial series, let's aim high. Let's not give in. Let's aim high.
Awesome. So we're talking about aiming high, and we've talked about who's it for. So Dr. J, why do we need to aim high? Like if someone was to say, okay, I get that, but why do we need to aim high? And what happens if we don't aim high? Let's start there. Why? And then what happens if people choose, no, I don't think I need to do that?
Well, first of all, it always kind of comes down to that internal question. You know, we always kind of look with the jaundiced eye. So I just want to remind us all, and I know in my own life, you know, many have heard, a lot of individuals have heard me speak before about my background and my testimony, so I don't want to be redundant all the time. But, you know, I went through the 6 broken homes. I went through all the foster homes. I went through about that many juvenile detention centers. I had learning disabilities, been physically abused, sexually abused, and called stupid most of my life because I'm very dyslexic. And back then, no one had a clue what that meant. They just thought I was dumb as a rock because I couldn't read. So I know what it's like, first of all, to have a lid on me. And a lot of those lids was not my fault. But my fault about all the broken homes and foster homes but then I started going from being a victim to a villain. I kind of became the Jesse James of my own life, kind of robbed myself. I made really careless choices. I don't want to brag, but I was all state in dumb choices. The word duh, well, that was kind of my nickname, I think, because if there was a choice to be made, you could count on me consistently. I want to just say I was very consistent in making dumb choices. So I became the Jesse James of my own life. So I know what it's like to be in a hole. And so when you're in a hole, it's really hard to kind of aim high. Most of us just keep digging when we find ourselves in a hole. Others of us are doing pretty good. We've got a family that loves us, and there's no perfect family, but we have a family that loves us. We know about the things of God. We've been given some great opportunities, and we're a youth ministry. We've got people that care about us. But all of us need to be reminded never to settle, but to soar. Years ago, Malachi, there was a book when I was first trying to get my life together. In fact, several decades ago, it was called A Whack Upside the Head. Now, maybe it's because WrestleMania, was supposed to be in Tampa this coming weekend, was canceled, but now it's too big for one night. It's 2 nights on WWE pay-per-view. But maybe it's because I'm going through my withdrawal from being able to go to WrestleMania. But there's something about a whack upside the head. Now, in this day and age, it's not fashionable or proper to talk about whacking somebody upside the head. But back in the day, it was just kind of a reminder. It's like the coach kind of slapping you upside the helmet going, come on, man, Strack, you got to get your head in the game. Man, we got to win this. We got to score this first down, whatever it may be, or make this first down. So simply put, whether it's a whack upside the head, a boot in the patoot, or maybe a pat on the back, we all need that kind of motivation. So that's why I think we all need a reminder. In fact, it's true for a lot of the adult and corporate groups and professional sports teams. Everybody can get in a rut. Season is long. The school year is long. Now some of us never thought we'd be missing being at school. Hello, but we are. So you ask, why do we need to aim high? I think we all need it. I think adults need it. I think highly motivated people constantly are looking for ways to be remotivated or re-energized or re-engaged in something that just captures their imagination. So I just think it's part of the human condition. And so again, hopefully it'll be a whack upside the head, a pat on the back, and not the other. All right. No body slams. No body slams, I promise.
Amen. Well, obviously WrestleMania, obviously 2 nights. I love that you said that. So Dr. J, you have had the unique journey of mentoring, leading, speaking to leaders at NASA, at the Air Force Academy, at Disney, at Universal Studios. So you're no stranger when it comes to talking about leadership. Friends with, John Maxwell and other just global leaders. But for the next several days, for however people watch these videos or listen to them on a podcast or whatever means they come across them, tell us, what are we going to be talking about in this series? What are some of the main topics that we are going to go over?
Well, I'm going to try to capture in the next 8 or 9 times we're together what it means to aim high, what it means to have a specific target, a specific goal. How do you stay motivated for the run, for the duration? How do we aim high, not just, all right, I'm going to have a good day today. No. But how do we have that aim high mentality? How to make it part of our DNA? And so we're going to talk about various models. Remember, we said everybody needs a model. So we're going to look today, in fact, or the next couple times we're together, I have 5 smooth stones on my desk, Malachi. And they've come from the Valley of Elah, which is where David slew Goliath. And I've had the privilege to take thousands and thousands of students and actually stand in that valley and see the dry riverbed. And these smooth stones that I'm holding up, I grabbed 5 of them, and I encouraged our students to grab 5. I bet the airline loved it when everybody flew home with all these stones extra in their luggage. But simply put, the 5 smooth stones that David picked up remind us that there's, we need to have a handful of stones. We need to have a handful of principles. We need to have a handful of core convictions, if you will. So I keep this reminder to help me remind me whether there's a Goliath in the land. And, I've been privileged to be involved with a lot of different kinds of groups. We got some real hot spots on the planet. What's going on in the Middle East, what's going on with Iran, what's going on in North Korea, what's going on. And plus, we're very divided at home. So as you get opportunities, you begin to look around and go, I care about this world. I care about my family, my grandchildren, my children. I care about students. I care about the future. I want to honor God. So I'm constantly looking, because there are giants out there. In fact, one time I heard an interesting phrase, there's giants galore. Somebody asked the question one time, why did David grab 5 stones? Well, that was in case Goliath had 4 brothers, all right? And so we know there's a bunch of Goliaths. There's giants we're going to have to face. Sometimes it's our own stinking thinking. It's our own bad attitude. It's our own whiny spirit, our loser's limp. I love football. Of course, we're going through withdrawal from every one of our major favorite sports, right? But you ever notice whenever there was a big pass completed, but the safety will get up limping, and people go, oh, well, it looks like he pulled a hamstring or something, right? And so, but you notice a couple plays later, he's not limping anymore. But when every eye was on him after he got beat for that long reception, right? Maybe even a touchdown or whatever, every now and then you'll see an athlete start limping. Well, that's called in the locker room parlance, that's called a loser's limp. When you start limping convenient. So, but a lot of us have a loser's limp. I had several, so that's why. We're going to talk about some great models, David and Joshua and other heroes that we have in history and in the scriptures. And we're going to talk about certain characteristics that will allow us to overcome almost any obstacle or any challenge.
Amazing. Well, Jay, one more question because this is the introduction to this series that I really want everybody to go through every single session, because I think it's that important to start it and finish it. But some of the things that you're talking about came from a book. Tell us a little bit why, as we kind of close out this conversation. What book is that? When did you write it? What's it about? And then we'll bring this to a close for this first session.
Well, thank you, Malachi. Well, Malachi, I had this incredible life-changing experience at the age of 17, and went home and flushed the drugs, flushed the booze, found out if God be for me, who could be against me? And also found out that this message of Jesus, too good to keep to yourself. So my life began to be cleaned up, that Jesus found out he's not just Savior, but he's deliverer and he's healer. But I was a junkie. I had a lot of DWIs, and back in the day, today they're DUIs. Hopefully that's not, folks aren't hearing that term very often, but I know what it's like to try to find life in a bottle, pill, or cheap thrill. So ended up being a junkie, busted many times, arrested many times, and got addicted to methamphetamine. So I had to go through serious withdrawal. So once I went through withdrawal, once the power of God began to show itself in my life, I had this desire to share with as many people as possible. So I started talking to my classmates, my teammates. And then soon after graduating, but no college wanted me, 13 colleges turned me down. Finally, I got in on academic probation. School, Charleston Southern University, took a chance on me, invested in me. And while there, they discovered I had all kinds of potential because of what the Lord was doing in my life. The only real talent I had was a big mouth, which some truths are self-evident. Folks will find out pretty quick, the dude's got a big mouth. But I was very anxious to share. But as a young college student, got invited to speak in a high school. And I didn't want to go because I knew how we treated speakers at our high school assemblies. But I went and got a great ovation and ended up, little did I would realize, but speaking in some 10,000 public schools. So spending day in and day out with literally millions of students, and then getting colleges and universities and teams to, all of a sudden it became very apparent to me that what I had gone through, a lot of folks were going through. So we're going to look at those modals. Hello, I'm a professional speaker. We're going to look at those models. We're going to look at best practices. We're going to look at the scriptures. And hopefully, because of some of the comments we'll get as we go through this, we'll be able to share some real life stories about what folks are going through or what's just happened in their life.
Awesome. Well, Dr. Jay, thank you so much. I'm excited to get to go through this series with you, hosting this with you. This series on Aim Higher. I believe everybody who partakes in this is going to become a better leader, a better youth pastor, a better college student, a more dynamic middle school, high school student, moms, dads, pastors, leaders, everybody. So this is an exciting series that we're starting. And so again, to everybody that's partaking with us today, tomorrow, the days and weeks ahead, There's Always a Way. There's always a way to do the right thing with Dr. Jay Strack. And I'm excited for what's ahead. So make sure that you watch and stay tuned for the very next episode as we discover the first key point, the first stone in aiming high. So thank you so much, Dr. Jay, and we will talk to you again very soon.
Thanks.